You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery suspension of petroleum product sales and Naira has sparked fears of a price hike among marketers. The refinery cited a mismatch between its sales proceeds and crude oil purchase obligations, which are denominated in US dollars. More than 5 days after the announcement, the refinery has yet to tell marketers how to deal with how the dealers will buy PMS going forward.
Following the announcement, private depot owners in Lagos increased the cost of loading petrol to around 900 naira per litre, up from 850 naira per litre. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, have warned retailers against panic buying, advising them to avoid stockpiling fuel. The IPMAN spokesman Chinedu Ukadike disclosed that the federal government and Dangote Refinery are resolving their misunderstanding to allow the resumption of the Naira-for-Crude sales. He stated that stakeholders are waiting to hear the conclusion from either party. Joining us now is Chinedu Ukadike, Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning.
Should we be worried? Should we be worried, Mr. Ukadike? You've asked Nigerians and retailers not to panic buy, but that's not the experience that we have in Nigeria. Typically, once there's a slight sense of trouble, everyone is rushing to, bulk buy and just stock up in case, because we've experienced a lot of trauma when it comes to the purchase of petrol. So should we be worried?
That was why I said nobody should get worried. Because Dangote is still selling petroleum products via vessel and in dollars. So there is still constant supply of petroleum products via vessel than the gallantry. The gallantry is where it becomes a little bit easier and faster, for marketers to be able to take these petroleum products in Naira and load it immediately with their trucks and move to the different destination. So this issue of Naira to crude erupted, and federal government suspended giving Dangote this product in Naira and decided to do it in dollars. So Dangote in turn decided to sell in crude in dollars. So it will definitely affect the price of the petroleum product because of the value of exchange, which has already affected the price. And you see the price is going up. The product that was almost around 835 naira now, we're almost selling at 900. Some are selling 850 something. Now the product is now almost around 900 now, like 40%, 40 naira increase. So these are just policies of government that have just changed and skyrocketed the purchase of petroleum products. We have had uninterrupted supply of petroleum products from Dangote, and our marketers are also loading from the gallantry day in, day out. So this policy will definitely truncate the distribution of petroleum products. But we also know that some of these government policies can also be reviewed, and by the time the committee, the presidential committee on crude oil will look at the reflex effect and the galloping inflation, and also the pressure on Naira. The pressure on Naira, they will also review, their stand and see whether they will still go back to continue to supply Dangote crude oil in Naira.
Is there any way that this could have been avoided as well?
Yes, definitely. The federal government, stated their challenges of not having enough for the domestic supply, based on their international commitments and how they have locked up the sales of crude oil, to some committed international buyers. And this issue of Naira to crude was just test run and expressly approved by Mr. President to be able to ensure that product cost is a little bit more cheaper than that of the one that is being imported. It was also reported last 2 weeks that imported products can be sold at 775 naira. So if that be the case, the federal government is also looking at are we supplying products to Dangote in Naira, and also imported products is being sold at 775 Naira. Although it was speculated, but none of the importers have sold products at that cost. Dangote still remained the only refinery that sold petroleum products cheaper in all ramifications, including those that are being imported. So most of these speculations are also thrown into the market by these market seekers or market jobbers who either want to see revert in the importation of petroleum products. But definitely, we'll find out that within these few weeks under review,
Okay.
the dollar has increased from almost dollar was around 1,495. Now dollar is being sold around 1,000, and at the parallel market is sold around 1,500. So you see, just only one little policy have changed the narratives, and also have also changed the pump price.
Now, Chief Ukadike, can you paint us a win-win situation for everyone? Which ideal scenario, looking at your experience in the petroleum industry, would favor the consumers, the Dangote Group, independent marketers, and the Nigerian economy in general? What's the ideal situation?
Yeah, the deregulation policy encourages competition, and that competition, there are these variables that are supposed to play. The variables of how do you get your crude oil? That is number one. Two, where are you refining? That is number two. Three, logistics of distributing that product. That is number three. Four, the pump price of these products at every various filling stations. That are the things you need to consider in terms of supply of petroleum products and the supply chain. But if these things are not being considered, you will find out that the price of petroleum products will keep on skyrocketing, and some unimaginable people will be profiteering from this little crisis. So the win-win situation is that we are very cool and calm with what Mr. President have done by giving Dangote crude oil in Naira, and you will find out since that period, the PMS is going down gradually. From 1,600, it came down to 1,001, to 900, to even 815 Naira. To those that are buying from the vessel, they are almost giving a product at 780 Naira. So you find out that with this competition, the product is going down. And if actually the federal government will continue and consistently, supply products to Dangote in Naira, it will be a win-win situation. Dangote will get the crude oil in Naira. He will refine the product, sold to independent marketers in Naira. And in turn, we will sell this product to you in Naira. Because the trade of exchange must come at a particular point in time. Mm-hmm. If Dangote say, I'm from the gallantry, I will no longer say in Naira. It means that we, the independent marketers, will go and start hustling for dollar at the primary market and gather it to pay Dangote. And it's a lot of exchange. And that gap of foreign exchange is another added inflation or another increase in pump price. So if we do Naira, it is a win-win situation for both Dangote, both independent marketers, both major marketers, both members of Nugasa who are suppliers. Because the president of Nugasa, Mr. Bennett Okorie, mentioned this thing, that this sales of crude oil in dollars will definitely influence the price of petrol.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, you really just hit the nail on the head. In terms of how this might impact the weakening of our currency, and there will be an added desire, an added search for the US dollar, which would, of course, impact inflation. So now you've also said that all the stakeholders involved are having a conversation, the NNPC, Dangote Refinery. When should we expect to get feedback?
quickly as possible because things are deteriorating. Products from products that you normally buy at 805 naira in your pumps or 850 in your pump are now sold for 900. And we don't know what tomorrow will look like. Because if you continue to allow the issue of backloading vessel distribution, that vessel distribution, a lot of hiccups. By the time they finish clearing the massa, all these things are being paid in dollars. And this is what Nigerian government should look at. Why would we be in our country? We cannot give strength to our naira. When you want to pay a government agency like the massa or port authority, you still pay them in dollars. When you want to hire a vessel, they will pay in dollars. That trade of exchange is another cost in our petroleum pricing and distribution. So these are the things that government will look at and ensure that this thing is being limited and it is seamlessly business is being done in naira, so that these products, like I speculated before, that with this competition that is ongoing and the rate the Dangote has been producing petroleum products, and the NNPC are also trying to compete, trying to put their refineries together and ensure that they are in the market so there will be no monopolistic market.
Talking of monopolistic...
products will be sold at 500 naira at the end of the day.
Yes, and that brings me to my question, because in a recent interview you granted, you said once the situation stabilizes, there's a possibility that the Dangote Refinery might further crash the price of PMS at the pump. What gives you this confidence to think so?
Well, what gives me this confidence is very simple. When they started with their AGO, I'm talking about precedent, petroleum pricing precedent. When they started with their AGO was almost around 1,800 naira. And now AGO is around 1,150, 1,001. Even though at the time they sold at 900. These are domestic refiners. And other refineries are around. It's being charging them to ensure that it's on top of the market, that he holistically controls the market. So by so doing, he would like to woo the off-taking of petroleum products by independent marketers, MEMAN members, and MOMAN members. You will also find out today that most of the filling stations that have been given to NNPC have been recovered. Either they are taught to MRS or the other. So marketers have free access, uninterrupted access, to be able to break the bulk of petroleum product directly from the refinery. There is no more round-tripping of distribution of petroleum products. So those are the hiccups that will also definitely have to increase price. Now that Dangote said we will sell in dollar, it has limited independent marketers who normally take directly from Dangote.
All right.
But if he's selling in naira, and also selling in guarantee, there are some certain exchanges and logistics with independent marketers cannot go into because of the huge financial involvement. That is why we can be able to buy 2 million litre, 3 million litre, 5 million litre directly from the guarantee, take our trucks to that particular place, and start the competition in our filling stations.
Yep. All right. Ukadike, Chinedu, you've shared with us what the challenges are. I mean, in my last question, I asked you when we're expecting to hear from stakeholders. You said as soon as possible. As soon as possible doesn't sound like we know for sure. So it's like you also are hoping to hear from them, so we're not sure. Right? Is that the true position?
Yes, definitely. It's between the federal government and Dangote. We are just spectators. We'll continue to encourage government to do the needful to be able to save the energy security.
Ukadike, Chinedu, thank you so much for joining us this morning to have this conversation. We certainly look forward to settlement that would sort of meet the needs of every party involved. And as a Nigerian consumer, I'm hoping that it leans in our favor as well. Thank you for your time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.